Well, hi, everybody. It's another Conversations With. And with me today is Megan Walker. And Megan Walker is with the Smart Shopper. And that's this little baby that you get, whether you want one or not. You get one in your mailbox or in your post office box. And it comes out every week. And it's got all kinds of interesting, tasty little tidbits in there. And Megan is the young lady that's responsible. And she goes out and talks to the different people in the area, businesses in general, and talks to them and works with them in putting their bargains and their specials and their super duper dandy deals in the Smart Shopper. So, how long have you been with them?
I've been with them since March of 2014, so I just recently celebrated my 3-year anniversary.
Did you get a cake?
I don't know if there was cake, but
talk to Carol.
I probably got a Kit Kat after work or something.
Yeah, you ought to get a cake or something. But anyway, so you've been there for 3 years?
Yes, I've been there for 3 years. I started working with the classified ads in the back, which are the little line ads that most people do their yard sales or their for rent ads. And then I started working with the bigger businesses and doing some display ads, and ended up just kept doubling my hours, adding hours until I was full-time, and I fell in love with the Smart Shopper ever since.
Good. So it's fun. You're having a good time.
Definitely having a good time.
You know, the bottom line to any business, whatever it is, you got to have fun doing it.
Yes, that's true.
I always tell people, I spent a lifetime in sales. In fact, I was on the road for a year. I went out and did seminars in leadership and in marketing, which was really sales, and taught sales to groups of people. And the name of my seminar was "Nothing Happens Until Somebody Sells Something." And when you think about it, it's true. Watch this. Let's just say this ad on the front here, the Landscape Supply, is an ad you sold, okay? Until you sold that ad, how many different people get involved? Let's just count them. There's you. You sold it.
Yes.
When you sell the ad, what do you do next? You take it back to the office and what?
True, passing the paperwork.
Who do you give that to?
My bookkeeper.
Right, so she takes, that's for the billing.
Yes.
Then what about the production and so forth?
And then it's on to graphics.
Okay, so then that's 3 people now.
Yes.
Okay, and then where's
And
it
it's
go?
on to proofing,
Then it
make
goes
sure
to
we can
proof.
spell the English language.
Yeah, and get it all done right.
Yeah.
And then it goes to the printer.
And then it goes to the printer,
And
and,
then it's
they go
printed.
through it as well.
All right, and then it goes to the post office.
And then it's the
And they
post
deliver it.
office. Yes.
So 7 or 8 people.
Yeah, at least.
Just because you sold an ad,
Yes.
at least 7 or 8 people have come in contact. And so my seminar was nothing happens until somebody sells something.
That is true.
And I was doing a seminar one time, Megan, for a car dealership. And I said that at the opening of the meeting. And they all looked at me and they go, "What do you mean?" I said, "You're sitting there waiting for a customer to walk in the door, am I right? And you're doing what? Having a cup of coffee, reading the paper? Nothing happens. And then all of a sudden somebody comes in and you find them a vehicle they like and you sell it to them. Then you have to, you're involved now. Then it has to go to the F&I guy. He's got to do the financing, get the paperwork done. Then the manager gets involved to approve the deal. Then the car's got to get ready, so it has to go to the service department. Then it's got to be ready. Then someone's got to go to the registry, get the plates. And then you got to call the insurance company. And I kept going down the line. And they all sat back and said, "Wow." I said, just from the fact that you sold an automobile, 12 people became involved. And so nothing happens until somebody sells something.
More than true.
And so even in your case, all the different people that get involved because you went out and sold an ad today.
Yes.
And that's what makes the cycle. And so, and the other thing I used to always tell people in my seminars, and it was fun, I would always start my seminar by telling people, I'm going to ask you to change. And it's going to be the most difficult thing you're going to ever have to do. Because if you were all doing so well, none of you would be here today. So you're all here because you want to learn something. And part of that learning is going to change. You're going to have to start doing things a little differently when you talk to customers. And I'm going to teach you all how to do that and explain that to you. And I said, if you think change is easy, how many people here are married or living with somebody? And I would get 80 to 90 people would put their hands up. I said, so if you think change is easy, here's what I want you to do tonight. I want you to go home, and when you're going to bed, I want you to get in on the other side of the bed and see what happens. And they all looked at me, and I said, and I'll give you the scenario. What are you doing on my side of the bed? Well, honey, I thought this was our bed. Well, it is, but this is my side of it. I said, so you see, change is not easy. And I said, and you're going to learn how to change things. And I went go through the whole process of how, in order to sell somebody something, see, there's got to be a reason to buy. And the reason can't be you have something to sell.
True.
There's got to be a benefit for the purchaser.
Yes, value.
And then you got to show those benefits. What's in it for me? And we are all the same way. If you know, I've had it happen 100 times. If I'll go to you and say, hey, Megan, I got a couple of tickets to the ball game. You want to go? You know the first question you ask me? Who's playing? Because if it's the Yankees, you might go. But if it's the Kansas City Royals, well, maybe not. Because you know what your mind automatically does? Your mind said, what's in it for me? And so you said, oh, tickets to the game. Well, who's playing? Who else is going? You may have a series of questions to assure yourself that this is something you should do. So, but selling is a unique. Someday I'll have to do one of my seminars for the TV for the audience. But
I'm interested.
You know, and I used to teach them customer needs analysis.
Ooh.
Before you can sell them an ad, you got to know what they need.
Yep.
And if you don't know what they need, you have no right to sell them the ad.
Yep. That's what we thrive on at Smart Shopper. We're on your side.
Customer needs analysis.
Yep.
Who you're trying to reach. What are you trying to do with this?
Exactly.
And I remember when I sold radio for years and years, and I sold over $10 million in my life. But anyway, I would say to somebody, well, who's your average customer? And the guy would say, everybody. I'd say, that's not true. Yeah, it is. I said, no, it's not. I said, how many 6-year-old babies come in here? Well, nobody. I said, then that's everybody. You said to me, everybody. It's not everybody. You need to know exactly who your customer is. Because if you don't know who your customer is, I submit that you and the Smart Shopper won't be able to help them. Because if you don't know who it is, you certainly don't know. And so you may be running an ad to the wrong group of people, and nobody will respond to it. And many times, if in fact advertising is unsuccessful, it's because it was aimed at the wrong people. And nobody would take it. And the other thing, it's always better to give $1 off than it is 1% off.
Yes.
And the reason is because if you give them 10%, if you see an ad, 20% off what? 20% off what? You know, and even a cash ad, $20 off what? Because if you don't tell them what the amount is, then when you walk in, let's suppose it's $80, but you know they're going to get a $20 discount, then you make the price $100.
Exactly.
And you knock the $20 off, and they got their 80, and you got your 80. So there's a lot of things like that that go into it. But you must have some great stories about people that you've been able to work with and help over the years too. Because I remember in my own career, the number of people who would say, "Oh, Dick, that promotion was absolutely fabulous. We blah 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 blah."
Yes, we do also run a testimonial every single week of a quote from one of our advertisers and their success story, whether it's, you know, a first-time yard sale and they ended up cleaning out their garage, or a brand new business did a grand opening and they, you know, got a bunch of new faces on their grand opening day. I personally love working with Smart Shopper because it's not the same thing every day. It's the same thing as the businesses. I don't work with only restaurants or only auto mechanics. It's all different types, all different kinds of people, all different kinds of businesses, the different areas. Even Charlton, I was born and raised in Webster. I didn't really know how beautiful Charlton was until I started trying to snoop around.
Well, I'll tell you one thing about Charlton. We have trees.
Yes.
We have a lot of trees here. Well, Charlton also happens to be the second largest town in the Commonwealth of Massachusetts.
Yes, I knew that.
We have 45 square miles. It's huge.
Yes.
And we have the Mass Turnpike and Route 20 go right through it. Cut it in half. But in any event, yeah, Charlton is a unique area and a unique community. And it's interesting.
Very.
It's interesting.
And beautiful. I couldn't get over how beautiful it is.
Oh, it's a great place.
Beautiful.
Except the last 3 or 4 days. It was like everybody else. It was just rain, rain, rain.
Yep.
I developed a strategy on or about the 3rd or 4th day. I stopped at a place and I had 2 or 3 people, you know, if they were coming in, the water would be dripping all over, and they'd all complain. And I'd say, you know, I want to share something with you. One of the first things we do every morning, and I said, I'm sure you folks did this morning, is we get up and we go into our bathrooms and we take all our clothes off and we turn on the shower and we step into the tub and we let the water run all over us. And then we get out and we dry ourselves off and we prepare ourselves for the day and get dressed and go outside and it's raining and it's only water. And then we complain about the water. Well, we just stood in the shower for 10 minutes, let the water run all over us. Same thing, only you got clothes on, or a raincoat, or an umbrella, whatever. But
You
anyway.
have to embrace Mother Nature.
Yes, and you know, I told people the other day, I told a couple of people, Megan, I said, if you were a flower or a shrub, you would be ecstatic. I don't know about anybody else's, but my grass and my shrubs and my flowers are...
Happy and healthy.
I am, yeah.
Happy, healthy, and
the old
naked and
lawnmower will be
wild.
out this weekend, although it's going to be up to 90, you know, coming up on
I'm excited.
a couple of days ahead.
I'm ready for summer.
Well, we're going right, well, that's what we're doing. We're going right into summer, you know, and that'll be the good news. So now, do you cover a whole area?
I mainly work in Webster,
Yeah.
but I do work with businesses in Oxford and some businesses in Charlton. I also work with some businesses in Spencer and Leicester. But my main area is Webster.
These are people that you've had on for a while or worked with for a while.
Webster mostly. Webster since day one.
Yeah.
Everywhere else I've been, I'm still introducing myself to people
Okay.
every day.
Well, no, you mentioned Charlton, so who, like for instance, who in Charlton would you call on?
My main businesses that I work with are Charlton Landscape Supply right on 20. City Power is in there every single week.
Good old Mark.
And good old Mark. And the Charlton Laundromat right on City Depot Road behind Ted's, who also works with us because Ted's and Nipmuc and Webster are related.
Yeah.
And we're right in the same parking lot as Nipmuc and Webster, so they've been advertising with us since the previous owner.
Right.
But those are the Charlton businesses that come off the top of my head, but I'm pretty sure everybody has my business card in or around their office somewhere.
Well, that's good.
I've made it in there somehow.
Well, that's great. So now you have another little thing here. So this is something new?
Yeah, so this is a separate glossy publication that we built, completely separate book, and it's inserted into the Smart Shopper, and it's mailed out. This one is for Webster, so this one is specifically mailed out to Webster. It's Webster to Webster businesses. It has town events.
Yeah.
It's got a nice map of Webster in there somewhere. Lake information, because you know Webster Lake, Chagagagagagland, Chagagagabungbungbug, is the most famous lake around. But we do have a town guide coming soon for Charlton within the next month. We're also working on a town guide for Southbridge because we mail out to Southbridge, and also Oxford.
Oh, good.
So we haven't approached Dudley or Leicester yet, but they are next.
Oh, that's good.
So everywhere that we mail out to, we plan to do a town guide for at least once a year. Depending on the content and the information, it may be more often, but we'll see. There's always fun stuff going on.
Where is this printed?
We actually have a mass printer right over the line in Connecticut. Our office is right on 193, which is Thompson Road in Webster. We're right by Nipmuc Liquors, like I said. We're right off of 395. We used to be on Route 12 in Webster downtown, but we moved our office a couple years ago. Right when I got on board, we first moved the office, and we've been over there ever since.
That's good.
We're in a strip right on Thompson Road. The whole strip works with us, whether they get their business cards with us or do an ad with us, you know, whether it's an
so you
employment
do more
ad,
than just the paper.
Oh yeah. We have the paper, which is our main bread and butter. You know, we build that every single week. We mail out every single Wednesday, whether you like it or not. But we also do print work. If you need business cards, we do business cards. We do postcards of any size, all custom work, flyers. We do a lot of takeout menus for local restaurants. That's probably our main We do business cards and takeout menus, but we can also do in-house menus. We do custom greeting cards and holiday cards for our readers. We'll have our readers come in and bring a nice family photo, and we'll print off the, custom-made holiday cards, or
So-
we've
so
done
you-
a birthday card.
So now you print them right there, or do they go to the plant?
It depends on the quantity, but
Yeah.
most of the custom work that we do is right in-house, right in the office in Webster. If we have anything, depending on the glossiness of
Yeah.
the paper, we do most of it in-house. But anything 250 plus, we usually send it out. But it's usually only 3 to 5 business days, so it's not a crazy long wait.
Not a big deal, no.
We're nice and local, so if you do have an issue
Yeah.
or something, you can come yell at us in our
Well, the
face.
one thing I've noticed, and I've noticed it, in fact, I think it's, if I'm not mistaken, there's a whole section in here, someplace today, I thought I saw it, about Help Wanted.
Help Wanted.
is
We do
becoming.
have a nice
Yeah.
employment section. 2 of them,
Yeah,
actually.
I told
That
you.
one right there
Yeah, and then this one here.
is a couple pages of display ads. Yeah, 6 pages this week of Help Wanted ads,
Yeah, I
display ads.
saw them.
And we
saw
also
them.
have, closer to the back of the book in the classified section, we have another
Look at all the
employment
people, look at all the
section.
jobs. Look, everybody's looking for a job. A general manager of a restaurant.
Yes.
Who is this?
Yeah.
Northeast Connecticut restaurant looking for an experienced general manager. Must be willing to work 50 hours plus a week, fast-paced, 3 years experience. Wow. There's something, look at that.
And it's all different types, part-time, full-time, all different shifts, all different types of jobs. And it's
Chevrolet dealer looking
local.
for sales staff.
Yes.
Wow. A couple of drivers. St. Agnes is looking for some drivers.
Yep, all different kinds of stuff.
Service tech wanted. Chevy dealer or a GM dealer is looking for all kinds of people. The Golden Greek is looking for cooks. Wow. Sales assistants. Mapfre Insurance. Wow, look at that.
Around this time, springtime, our Help Wanted section is pretty thick. I don't
Wow,
know what
the
it
big
is about
career
this time
fair.
of year.
Wow. Everybody. Westview is looking for all kinds of people. Help Smart Shopper is looking for people.
We're always growing.
Business development specialist, is that you?
That's me. So we need more of me.
So they don't call you salespeople anymore.
We like to make
We
it
used
a little
to see,
fancy.
in radio, I changed about in the middle 80s, and our people all became marketing managers.
Yes.
We used to call them marketing managers because the people love to deal with a big shot. And when you use the word manager,
Yeah, oh yeah.
you're somebody big in the company.
One of
So
our
marketing
favorites is-
managers we used to have.
Yep, marketing manager and account executive.
That's right.
Those are our personal favorites.
And one of the old phrases, and it was really fun. We used to have a lot of fun with it. When in radio you run an ad, well they call them spots.
Yes.
You're going to run a spot. Well, I used to, the punch, the three thing when you punch 3 holes.
3-hole
to put them in a
punch.
binder. Yeah.
Yes.
Boom. Well, I used to have the girls in the office save all the little round circles.
Uh-huh.
And we used to put them in sandwich bags. And all my salespeople carried them in their pocket. And someone would say, "How much are your spots?" We'd say, "Oh, those are free. Here you go." And we'd give them a whole bag. Here's a whole bag free. No charge at all. When you want a marketing plan, that's what I can help you with. But if you only want spots, these are free. And I would hand them a bag of spots.
I like that.
And the guy would say, okay? And what used to happen, because we did that, because as you know, selling advertising is very competitive.
Of course.
There would be 3 or 4 radio stations in
Selling
the
anything.
marketplace.
Yeah.
4 or 5 paper people calling on them. So everybody was looking for a piece of that advertising dollar. And this goes back. Now today, computers have changed the world. And today, social media and car guys now do everything on IT.
Yep.
And so it's a different world. But back in those days, so what would happen is we'd give the guy a bag of spots free. And he couldn't wait for the next radio guy to come in, and he'd say, "How much are your spots?" And the guy would say, "They're $10 a spot." And he'd say, "Well, I just got a whole bag free." And he'd grind the poor guy because we always sold a marketing plan. We wouldn't sell, I said, "We don't sell spots." What do you mean you don't sell spots? We don't sell them.
Yep.
I refuse. We have to do a marketing plan. What do you mean? Well, I need, this is the customer needs analysis, the CNA. And we used to have I used to teach them the doctor's pitch. And we called it the doctor's pitch because it's just like going to a doctor's office. And the greatest salespeople in the world are doctors, by the way. By the way. But anyway, I'll tell you that story someday. Someday, how many business development specialists do you have over there?
Right now we have a solid 5.
5.
But we're always looking at
Talk to Carol Toomey and tell her I'll come over some morning and I'll do one of my seminars for you.
Oh.
And I'll teach you more in an hour and a half than you've learned in the last 2 years. Okay?
I'll take it.
But anyway, we would do a customer needs analysis, and we would ask a series of questions, and they were always open-ended questions. You know what an open-ended question is?
Yes. No, yes or no's.
It's a question that can't be answered yes or no. Yep. Very good. Because if they say, if they can answer it yes or no, conversation's over. Okay? And when you get to a close, we used to have our close, and we always gave them an either or. You want to start this Monday or next Tuesday? And then, the biggest lesson of all, and I had studies done at Harvard Business School, the person who speaks next loses. So when you say, do you want to start this ad this week or next week? Because if you talk next, he doesn't have to answer you. And you shut up, and you stand there. And I used to teach my salespeople, my marketing managers, to make them say no 3 times. Okay? But anyway, the first time, it'll take him 21 seconds to answer on average. Now that 21 seconds seems like an hour and a half when you're standing there waiting for this.
Yep.
You know, and he'll say, if he doesn't say yes, he'll say something like, "Well, I got to think about it." And I would say to him, "Megan, if I'd asked you to marry me, I'd want you to think about that. But all I asked you to do was say yes to improve your business. That's all I asked. Why don't you want to improve your business?" And that time only takes 7 seconds. And he'll answer you. And he'll answer you. All right? And so those are all the things that I used to do in my seminars. And then I used to teach people their closing ratio. Do you know your closing ratio?
Could be better.
Well, and I used to tell people and say, look, let's suppose out of every 10 people you talk to, you close 3. So every time you get a no, you're 1 step closer to getting a yes. So if you talk to 10 people and you close 3, then your closing ratio is 30%. So you want to get that better. But in the meantime, you're going to need 7 no's before you get your first yes. So you can't get discouraged, because each no gets you 1 step closer to your yes. You know. But anyway, those are just some of it. But anyway, customer needs analysis was very important. You ask them a series of open-ended questions.
Yes.
And you can find out, it's amazing what you can find out about their business. Like, for instance, who's your average customer? It's amazing how many businesses have no idea.
Oh, jeez.
All right? Who you're really trying to reach. Okay? Tell me one good reason why somebody should come here and shop. And this was always the tough one.
Oh, yeah.
Tell me one good reason why they shouldn't come here.
Ooh.
Well, there's no reason. Really?
Oh.
You sure? How about no parking? How about you're on a side street? And then we used to do a lot of promotions, because that's what we did in radio.
Of course.
One of my best promotions, we ran a no sale one time. No money down. We had a big no sale. No money down. No. We had a bunch of no's, and it was no waiting, et cetera, et cetera. And but the best one we ran was we had a store. It was Eddie Belcher's Ware Radio Service up in Ware, Massachusetts, when I owned WARE. And he said, "Oh, sales are slow." I said, "We'll fix it up." So I had him put paper all the windows, paper them all up. We put in the window in big letters, "Eddie Belcher's is going out," and I put the word FOR, going out small for business. Now, what do you think everybody thought?
Of course.
What did everybody think?
Oh my gosh, they're going out
Eddie.
of business.
Sale starts Thursday at 9. We had 28 people waiting in line, thinking he was going out of business.
It's a good fallacy.
And he had prices on everything you walked in. It was a TV store.
Yep.
And he had TVs, was $3.99, now $2.88, whatever it was. It was one of the biggest sales. It was unbelievable. The newspaper even ran a story that he was going out of business.
Oh my goodness.
Local paper. We put the signs up on Tuesday, and he didn't open Wednesday, and the sale started Thursday morning at 9. I mean, but you could do all kinds of promotions like that, and the no sale was another big success, And then we had how do we work it? He had a suspended ceiling, and I made him take. Well, most of them were empty. TV boxes that TVs come in, and we stacked them. And we lifted the tiles and put it right up through the roof. And he said he's got so much merchandise, he's got to clear it out. It's going through the roof, and people could look in the store. You see these TV boxes stacked up, and they were right through the roof. But people came in and they laughed like heck.
Yeah.
And he had a great sale.
Got to catch people's attention.
Yeah. And then one of the best ads I ever did, and it was I had him put it in the paper. And I used to do it if I was doing a promotion for the radio station, because they were cheap. I would buy help wanted ads, okay? Because they were little cheap ads.
Yeah.
And I would put in there, in bold print, SEX. And then it said, now that I have your attention, I have a great sale going on all this weekend at 59 Main Street, TVs as low as $39.
Oh, jeez.
Okay, it worked.
I know.
I mean, it worked. People, they turn on the page and they go to those classified ads that you used to sell. Here they are, and you look down, you see sex, and you read it, and it would say, "I'm having a big sale this weekend. Now that I have your attention." But I mean, but you can see and plus it was fun.
Yes, got to make it fun.
Yeah, yep. It has to be fun, and if it isn't fun, it's no good. Well, Megan, it's been delightful. I'm so glad you came, and I hope folks got an idea. See, now, all you folks out there know who's behind the Smart Shopper, and this is Megan Walker. and Megan, if people want to do something with you, or they want to talk to you, and get some of your great ideas about doing some advertising, because, Henry Ford had a lot of great sayings. My favorite saying is, don't find fault, find a remedy, because anybody can complain. That was Henry Ford. But the other thing he said was, stopping advertising to save money is like stopping a clock to save time.
It's one of my favorite filler ads.
Really? You use that?
Yes. Oh, yes.
And so it's very, very, very vital that if you're going to be in business, the last budget you cut should be advertising. Tragically, by the way, it's the first budget they cut.
I know.
And it's not, and they shouldn't do it. But Megan, tell folks how they can get a hold of you.
You can always call the office Monday to Friday, 8:30 to 5, 508-943-5300, or you can visit our website or our Facebook page, 24/7.
Good. And then you get a hold of Megan, and she'll come right down and she'll sit with you and guide you and help you, and as she has so many, many others.
Yeah.
So who's your favorite? What are some of your favorite advertisers?
Oh, geez. My favorite advertisers are the ones that send camera-ready ads with a good, hard message.
All done. So you don't have to work. There she is. Now you know the real story, folks. Make Megan's job easy, and she will love you, okay? She really will. Get your ad all ready. Say, here, Megan, run it for me.
I like a good challenge, though. I like going into grand openings are my favorite. I've watched many businesses start from an empty room with no ceiling, and now they're, multi-millionaire restaurant. Oh, yeah, with my own two eyes. Yep.
Yeah.
Those are my favorites.
Yeah, they started from scratch and ended up.
I've seen buildings get gutted and revamped into completely different rooms.
There you are. Well, there you are, folks. It's Megan Walker. Megan, you were delighted. I'm glad you were here. It was delightful. And come back and see us again.
I will. I had fun.
There you are, folks. Another
Thank you.
Conversations with.